And we are live. Hello, viewers. I'm really excited tonight because I have a guest that I have known forever, I think since about age 10 or 11. She has been a part of my life through Dance Masters. She's been a part of my life through, I'll call it Spectrum, even though people won't know what that is, which then became ADA. And my mom was good friends with Nancy, and we go back a long time. I have so much respect for her. I'm so excited that she's here with us tonight. She's an IDEA member, and we're honored to have her as one. But Nancy, for those who may be watching, and we have a lot, those of you that are watching, let us know where you're from. But give us a little rundown of your dance teacher history, Miss Nancy.
Okay. Thank you so much for having me, Reed. So nice to be with you. First of all, I look up to you dearly. So from a little boy to a big man. So you've really grown, and I thank you. First of all, I'm Nancy King. I'm from Wanacue, New Jersey. I have a studio named the King Center for the Performing Arts. We are in our 49th year. Next year is the big 50. We have 3 studios. One is in Mahwah, one is in Wanacue, and one is in Butler. We originally started in Wanacue. Will be 49 years in Wanacue. Our Mahwah studio is going to be 14 years old, and our Butler studio is going to be 6 years old. So we've grown over the years. We've had many students pass through, as well as our children. We have 4 children, my husband, Brendan, and myself. 3 of them ended up being in the performing arts. Actually, all 4 were in the performing arts. One went more in the acting field, and the other 3 have all been on Broadway, or our daughter's been the Rockette, as well as on Broadway, and our 2 sons were on Broadway exactly in the same shows 6 years apart, doing the exact same part for 2 shows, Wicked and Moving Out. So, and then Brenda did other shows, and Chris has traveled the world. So our 4 children are Natalie, Brendan, Michael, and Christopher. I have to say them in order, and that's the way I can remember too. So go ahead.
I was just going to say, I know them all, and you should be very proud.
Oh, I am. I'm very proud. Believe me. Thank you.
So your studio, for those who may not know, your main studio is in your home, correct?
Yes, it's a commercial building that we have 4 studios in the commercial building. We also have a music studio. We also have dressing rooms, but we have our house all above it intertwined. So we started out with a little house, and it kept growing. We added to the studio, and we added to the house. And then we're still going. We're still doing things to our house. I don't know why, but we still are, like everyone else. The kids leave, and we start to add.
Is it the house all your children grew up in? Did they grow up with the studio there?
Yes. We were going to move out. Well, I guess we had 3. So instead we decided to add on. And then there's 6 years between the 3rd one and the youngest one. And he came on, when he was born, we were finished adding on quite a bit. So he moved right in.
I love it. I see that as something special because I grew up with a studio in the basement of my home.
Yes. Ours is, we've had a lot of construction here over the years. Maybe we've changed it 4 times, 4 different times. So I'm sure you know that feeling of being in that too.
Oh yeah. The house was always under construction, as you said. Never to make the living quarters bigger, always to make the dance space bigger.
Yes.
That's what I remember.
But somehow the last construction we added onto our house, finally.
I'm so happy for you.
Yeah. But we were going to move out so many times, but I like the fact that I taught mostly in the studio, even though I do teach in the other studios. I like the fact that they had to come see me before I taught. I still had someone home with them when I wasn't there, but they could always be a part of what was going on. So that was very important to me. And I could still do the
Okay.
thing I loved.
And you've been doing it a long time, and you've been doing it awesomely, Miss
Well,
Nancy.
thank you.
So you are someone who pulled off something that okay, let me back up. I do a lot of town halls with studio owners. You and I have met at the Dance Educators Town Hall and maybe Idea Town Halls. So many people have brought up the concept of doing their recital at the drive-in. A lot of people laughed, okay, when they heard somebody say that was their dream. Nancy, you are the only one I know, and there may be others listening, so I don't want to say that I'm 100% right who pulled it off.
Well, we are. We're going to. We're in the process.
Okay, I gotta ask you, how did it come about? Like in your head, at what moment were you thinking drive-in?
We were doing a parade for our seniors, and we dropped off gifts at each of their homes. And all of us hadn't seen each other in 4 weeks. 4 weeks had passed. We had closed on March 16th. So after that day, we hadn't seen each other in a month. So when everyone saw each other just in the cars, they were so excited. And it was like everyone was crying. We were all just so happy just to wave to each other from afar. So what happened is we decided, I kept saying to myself, my God, here we are with all these people in a car, and look how happy we are to see each other. I have to think of something. And that day is when I thought, the drive-in. You can bring your car to the drive-in. We never have to leave our cars. So I pursued it.
How did you pursue it? Did you know somebody at a drive-in, or did you just cold call the drive-in?
Cold called the drive-in. We called the drive-in, and they were already had many calls for a graduations, but no one had ever had their recital there. That was something they never did, and they said, "Well, let's okay." So we met with them in the pouring rain outside, because when you do have a drive-in show, it's rain or shine, it still goes on. So that's one good thing about not having it outside. You don't have to worry about rain or shine, because it'll still go on and you can still be in your car. So we went there, we looked at everything, we found out how we had to space everything, because it's still COVID-19. You have to stay apart by so many feet. So they have instead of having a car by car, it has to be 19 feet apart. So they have 3 screens. So we figured out we could run all 3 screens simultaneously, so that we could watch the show no matter which way you were looking, and it would all be the same show. So then it all started. They were very open to it. In fact, they told us we could come as anytime during the day. We could set up anything the way we want it. They've been fantastic. And we're opening at 7:30, and we're having an hour of whatever events we can have by then. We're going to have whatever that can be. We're decorating our cars. It'd be like a King Center Spirit night. And we're doing a parade for our seniors that night. So they have something very special. We have them standing outside the cars, through the rooftops of the cars. And then we're going to present them with special gifts. And then we're running it like a movie. We're going to run the whole thing like a movie. So we're very excited.
So listen, are they allowed to park next to each other? What is that?
They have to park 19 feet apart. You know how they had the poles? Well, this drive-in still has the poles without the speakers. So they have the
Okay.
poles. And believe it or not, a lot of my families have never been to a drive-in. So some of them, it's going to be their first experience. So you have to park 1 car between the poles rather than 2.
Okay. So do you think you're going to use all 3 screens?
Yes.
Do you think you're going to sell out the drive-in is my
Yes,
question.
yes, I do.
What was the
Believe me, I
reaction?
do. Excuse me?
What was the reaction from your clientele when you made this decision, and how did you let them know?
Well, we put it out that we were going to have definitely. I did a video, a live video to all the parents, telling them that we're still working on the costumes coming in because the costumes came in very late. So they're still coming in actually. And so I told them that we are having a recital. I've decided to have the recital at a drive-in where we can all be safe in our cars and we watch our children have a movie. And at first, I was going to have each child come in one at a time at the studio and have photographs. But then when it was extended for another 30 days that you could not have anything like that, I said, okay, so now the parents are taking the pictures and sending them to us. So they're taking individual picture of each of their children, and then they're taking a video of each of their children, and then we're going to coordinate it together with the music.
Okay, now we're getting we got a question on that. I'm going to ask you this question. I
Sure.
think I jumped because I got so excited. How are you handling, let's say, your once a week kids? Are you like pre-taping on Zoom their choreography and costume? Is that something you're doing? And then describe that a little more.
Okay, we're not taping off of Zoom. We are actually
Okay.
letting them videotape. We have told them how to do it. You have to do it horizontally with your phones or a camera. And we also told them that the music, our editor can work the music to work exactly in sync with them. We made music on bands. So they could go to the bands or Google Drive. We have it on a band and we also have it on Google Drive that they could go to. They can watch the video while they dance with the music. Every teacher choreographed or was either doing it themselves or had a student do it for them on the bands so they could watch the dance and do it with them as if they were watching the Zoom or watching TV. And the parent could videotape them with their teacher.
And now is somebody putting those together in blocks so that they're all next to each other on the big movie screen? Is that how this works?
Yes, some will be. And what they're doing is that there'll be some classes will be that way. And then the pictures of the kids will then be like folded over. You know how you do that film of folding pictures in and out of people? We're going to do
Yes.
that. And then we're going right into the song because we do have two studios together. Actually, all three of our studios are together. And they are, we combined a lot of things together. So it won't, well, the screen itself will not be overcrowded, is what I'm trying to say. We are going to do some in squares and then some we'll do a little differently. I did take the teens outside as of this weekend since we could have 25 people outside together. So I brought them to the drive-in and we took pictures. And also they did a dance out at the drive-in, out in the open air. We did it with a, what do you call that over? Oh, it escapes me now. But with a drone, we had it with a drone. They took pictures with the drone while they were dancing.
Oh, I love that. So the kids were getting something fresh and new out of their dance experience. And what was their reaction to filming at the drive-in?
Well, they were just excited to be together. They had never been together. They learned their dance on Zoom. So that was the first time we ever came together to do it together. And of course, you're still confined to where you are because you really couldn't do any really cool choreography. So whatever you were doing, you had to move in that 4x4 space just like you were home. So it worked though. It looked great. I was really happy. I was really happy how it came out.
All in costume.
All in costume. And then we went from the drive-in to someone's house that had a big yard. And then they switched costumes. Some of them changed in the car, some changed in the garage. And we went out in the backyard in the grass and we did the ballet dance outside in the grass, all spread apart.
Really?
Yes.
And I know this because you and I had talked about it. It was supposed to be a point dance that ended up
Yes.
in bare feet. Am I correct?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And is it beautiful anyway, Miss Nancy?
Oh, yes, because it's in the trees and the grass. Yes, it's beautiful. And you know what? It's not going to be what we want it to be in so many ways because you like to do all that intricate choreography. But to me, to see them all together, I cried just to see them all together dancing because they were so happy to see each other. It was amazing.
I have more questions, but I want to
Sure.
say this to you and everybody listening. You know that it doesn't have to be perfect, and the choreography this year is not about how clean it is.
No.
It's really about we made it this far and
Yes.
we are still dancing. So for those of you watching who are saying, wow, I don't know, how could I let my ballet dance in bare feet? Think to yourself that it's better in bare feet than no performance at all, and that these kids will never forget it. Right?
Yes.
Am I?
Yes, yes. Because, yes, that was very hard for me in the beginning because it was hard for me to decide, oh my goodness, everything's not going to be just perfect. But you know what? I've let go. Everyone's reminded me, you know what? All those beautiful faces are going to be on that screen in a big movie like life is right in front of you. And that's going to bring joy to so many people. And that's what matters. Right now,
I
it's
love I love that you said that these kids have never been to a drive-in because they're going to see themselves in this big screen. And, you know, so many of us who went to the drive-in dreamed of seeing ourselves on that big screen, wouldn't you say?
yes, yes, absolutely. So I think it's going to be exciting for them. They're going to be very excited. And we're taking clips from, we only went to one competition. So we're taking clips from that competition and we're going to take clips from a concert we did. And in between each of those dances of the little ones, we'll do each a different kind of thing. So it is a little more interesting to watch.
I love it. I love it. So, Nancy, I want to let you know that we have somebody watching from Calcutta, India,
Oh,
checking out
wow.
this. How cool is that?
That
So,
is
let me
cool.
ask you this. Is this like you're charging by the carload, like a drive-in? How's that working?
Yes, we're charging $30 per car, no matter how many people are in it. Normally,
And no,
nor,
go ahead, please.
no, I'm sorry. Normally, when you go to the drive-in, it's like $12 an adult and $10 a child. So really, this is a good deal. $30 a car.
And will this like movie be available to the clientele when the recital is over?
Yes, we are going to have an opening because we're going to film the beginning. We're going to film the whole presentation we're doing for the seniors. We're going to have a couple other special events going on that we're going to film the entire thing. Yes.
I gotta ask you this question. Will you be in the projection booth?
No, I'll be in my car.
You will?
Yes, I
I
want.
was just curious if you'd be like, I don't know, standing in the projection booth running the show with a headset or how that worked.
Normally, I would be, but you know what? No, I think there isn't anything I can do. We'll already have tried it out because you do have to convert it from a video to a DMP, DPM or something like DEP that
Yeah,
for them to run it as a movie. So we're gonna try it out first before we even have that night, just for us.
I love it. I love this whole concept. Can anyone come? I mean, if it's not sold out, are you opening it to the public? Are they putting you guys on the sign outside?
Yes, we took pictures of the seniors around the sign, and we took pictures. There's another sign as you leave that says, "We hope you had a great show, enjoyed the show," and we took pictures with them too.
Okay, stupid question, but I have to ask. Concession stand open? Will they do the dancing hot dog thing or anything like that?
They do have a concession stand. The drive-in, they have, that's their property, but they're going to, everything is done just like everything else. You have to order ahead and then pay ahead, and then you have to go pick it up, but you have to wear a mask and 6 feet apart.
Okay. So these people can have dinner or food
Yes.
and snacks in their car. Are you taking an intermission or are you running straight through?
No, I'm running straight through.
And so I know, did I ask you if anyone could come?
Yes, and anyone can come.
At $30 a carload, what would you say if we started bringing some dance teachers down there to watch the first dance recital at a drive-in theater?
Tell them to come. We're going to hand out clappers. Put the clappers going.
Tell me some of the gimmicks that you have planned like that. Are they going to honk their horns or are they going to
Yes.
use clappers?
Yes, we're going to give out clappers, and we have our name on the clappers. We're going to give out glow sticks for all the kids, and they can honk their horns as if they were clapping at the end of each number. But it'll flow pretty fast because the movie we can't have really much stopping. But we're going to really try to do as many things as we can to make it a memory that they can never forget.
I'm with you. It'll be a memory you'll never forget either. What's been the
I see
what?
Julie Sopko on there. No, there's a student of mine on.
Yes, she is.
Hi, Julia.
Hi, Julie. And yes, as she says, blast from the past. Such great memories at Spectrum in the 90s. How cool is that?
Yeah.
That I will go on, but I want to say that's a legacy, Nancy. Because our audience is dance teachers, and when somebody comes in and writes a comment like Julie, you know that you've created and made an impact on kids or now adults long after the dance lessons are over.
It means so much to me. So much. Her dad was she's beautiful dancer. Great girl. And her dad stayed with us and was the father in the Nutcracker. He was the lead dad for many years after she long left and went off to college.
I love that. That's the
Yes.
family of dance. How cool is that?
Yes.
So, Nancy, what part of this has made you say it's a blast, and what part of this has been really hard?
Of this whole COVID?
No,
Or the
I mean
drive-in?
the recital. And then I do want to ask you about COVID in a second.
Okay, the recital, I think the hard part is making sure that we don't miss one child, that we get everyone that all their videos are in and we could really see them. So we've had a couple of people had to redo theirs, and we're checking everything. We keep each class together. We have it all very organized. I have a teacher that's really great at it and really keeping it very organized. We're still getting more videos. This week we'll edit those things that we can before we hand it over to the editor to put together.
Okay, so let's dig in just a smidge there. You've hired a professional editor to take all this and put it together. You're not attempting to do that yourself.
I'm taking certain classes together to do, and then he's doing some others. We're trying to do as many different, just so the variety is different, but he'll take everything and put it to the final thing, the final editing job.
Gotcha.
I have a couple students that are very good at it. So they're coming in and doing some little creations of their own, which they've all been terrific at wanting to help. So they're coming in this week, and we're trying to put each class together to work on everything. I think this is going to be the hardest part.
And now, as you move forward in this time, do you say to yourself, Wow, after 49 years, here I am running a recital at a drop. No, did you say we're about to hit 50? Is it 49 this year?
Yes, it's 49 this year.
Okay, so do you say to yourself, wow, I can't believe I'm doing this at a drive in? Or do you say to yourself, hey, this is what it is?
I say this is a challenge and I'm up for the challenge because that's really who I am. I'm always challenging me. So this alone, working with all this Zoom and all this computer, wow, that was a challenge in itself. And I feel like I like a challenge. I love putting shows together. So this is just a different direction of doing it, but you can still do it. And I'm determined to do it.
I love that attitude, Miss Nancy. If
Um,
any of our viewers have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments. But now I want to take you to a new place. You seem upbeat, ready to go with this recital. I talk to a lot of teachers who are on a roller coaster road or roller coaster ride of emotions.
oh, yes, I've been there.
Does it happen to you? And what advice might you have for those that may be listening that just can't bring up that energy to move on like you have?
I think I would say to all of them, I had the same ups and downs. I kept thinking to myself, am I really ever going to be able to get through this? Will I be able to do it? Will I be able to hold my studio together? Will I? And I thought the only way I'm going to be able to do it is to be positive. So every day I post positive things. I mean, I post, and I do it not only for everyone, I do it for me because I read positive things all day. Every day, always. I've done it since my kids were little. I always gave them positive things just because that's the only way you can move forward. And I think when you're down, that's a thing that really brings you up. And I've anyone I've spoken to that has been really down, I've been trying to say to them, you know what, we have to look at the best side of this. How we're still keeping students involved that maybe need this more than their parents realize. They have just as much stress. Dancing is going to relieve that stress. It's going to relieve their emotions. Like I spend many times just talking to them, just trying to engage them. And I know for the younger ones, a lot of the younger ones, it was hard for. But we've had a lot stay. We've had a lot stay. I did lose a lot. I did lose a lot of people. That was heartbreaking to me. Every person that said they couldn't do it, I was heartbroken. And then I would say, okay, it's a different circumstance for them, maybe, or maybe they just don't understand, or we tried to
Right.
help them. Some people we tried to help take the videos to help them do it. Even when we started out, when this all first happened, we started out just as a band, going on the bands and we did it. I think the first day we knew we were going to be closing, we did 109 bands between all my staff. They all came in. They all made as many classes as they could. They went above and beyond. I made classes. Many students came and they demonstrated for us, and we did a lot of classes to put on the band so kids could watch and have class. We did that for the first 2 weeks, and then put all the music up for the recital. And then, of course, there were some dances that weren't done. Some of the older kids' dances weren't even started. So they learned their dances on Zoom, which was interesting. But I saw it outside for the first time, and I was really proud of them. And that's all I could say to them. I'm just proud that you were able to do it and work hard at it and believe in it, because it's really not right now about being perfect. And yes, we want part of our teaching is touching and helping them and fixing them, which I'm a very hands-on teacher. So it's hard for me not, but I put a screen, like a movie screen that you used to have. Well, I had one in my basement. So we brought it up, and that's what I've been using so that I feel like I get closer to them and talk to them. And you have to understand their situation. It's not the perfect thing. It's not perfect for us either. It was very hard teaching out here with really no one in the classroom. That was hard. That's very hard. But I think my whole thing, I would say to everyone, you have to realize that they need this. They really need this. And we need it. We need them. This is what keeps me young. I need them. And they need us to help them get through it. Because taking class all day long from 9 to 2:30, 8 to 3:30, a lot of them are in the classroom for 6 hours. So then to get on and take 3 hours of dance is a big deal. But they're doing it, and I'm proud of them. So if they slack out once in a while, I just say to them, okay, let's sit and talk. So then we would talk. But I think
Okay, here's another one of your students signing in. Can you see this comment?
Yes. Oh,
How cool is that, Miss
that's
Nancy?
nice.
You
Thank
would
you.
love. Maybe we can get these guys to hand out clappers at your drive-in recital.
I like the hot dog thing. You just gave me another idea.
There you go.
Hot dog thing.
Nancy, how many numbers are you gonna put in the?
It's about 42.
And how many grand total kids have chosen to participate?
Around 220.
Okay. How long do you think the show will be?
2 hours. We made all the numbers a little shorter except for the younger ones. We let theirs be long.
Okay.
We let theirs be a little longer. We made all the teens a little shorter, and we wanted to have time in the music to also show their pictures of the kids different ways throughout their dance. So that would try to take up the time of clapping. So it'll kind of fold into each other.
And do you believe that they'll honk their horns as
Yes.
clapping? Because I'm kind of anticipating that that's what it would be like.
Oh, I'm hoping they will. We're encouraging them because I want it to be fun. I want it to be a fun event.
I want to ask you this question. So what happens? Like, do they all have to hit that play button at the same time if it's on 3 screens, or could one recital be behind the other recital?
No, they told me they do it exactly at the same time.
Okay.
Because that was a big question I had.
I want to come to this recital. I don't know if I could leave my state yet, but I would love to see this recital.
I mean, I'm hoping that. I hope it all comes together. I'm sure. If not, it'll be a lot of long nights making it come together.
Nancy, can you hear me all right? Because my microphone popped out for a second. This is what I want to say to you. I admire your bravery in trying to do something different. I admire that you have the show must go on attitude. You remind me of my mother and my mother's generation, and I know you knew her.
Yes.
Because it would be the show must go on kind of thing, and you're pulling it off, and I want to say bravo to you. I'm proud to know you and proud to see you pull this off, honestly.
Oh, thanks. I'm excited. I'm actually excited. I can't wait to make it come together.
Look at what you're gonna know. How do you know that your whole future isn't in setting up drive-in movie dance recitals?
Who knows?
Who knows?
I don't want to have COVID though. I still believe live performance is the best performance, but this is going to feel live.
Understood. So as we close out, you've been teaching a long time. You've been on this earth a long time. This COVID is something that none of us have ever experienced before. What does it make you think? How has it changed you?
Makes me appreciate so much more because my husband had COVID. He was very sick. And he was very close to going to the hospital. My doctor I talked to my doctor a couple times a day, And he kept saying, try to keep him home as long as you can because it was so full. But he was so sick. And I think of all of it, I appreciate, first of all, he's better. He's good. I had a very mild version. He was very sick, but he's fine now. Everything is good. I think I appreciate my family. I've had more family Zoom time than ever before, from everywhere that we could all talk together and see each other's face, even though we can't hug each other. I think I appreciate my students. I appreciate my families. I appreciate my staff. I appreciate life. I think life in itself, the fact that we can all come together, and I'm hoping that's what's going to happen through all this that's happening now. That people realize that we have to be together. We have to work together. That's the way everything works best, and it's really not about anything else. And I think that this time has taught me appreciation, just having a meal together with everyone and sharing time together. And it made me realize how much I really love teaching more than anything, I think, of aside from my family, not, seeing my family, but I think all of us, of all the people that I've spoken to a lot of people as well that just needed to be uplifted about a lot of things. And so you have a lot of families that need help. So we tried to do that, reach out to those families that needed help or needed extra care or needed someone to help them. So I think that most of all, I appreciate life itself and the beauty of life.
Beautiful words, my friend. I wish you the best. I'm so excited for this. I want to do a follow-up. I'd love to see the video. And
I'll make sure you get one.
Okay. And thank you for being a beacon of light in our field and my friend for so long, Miss Nancy. I appreciate you. And there are so many teachers across the country who feel the same way.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for having me. And I thank you. I admire you greatly. You've done a great job.
The feeling is mutual, my friend. Thank you all for tuning in tonight. Thank you, Miss Nancy. We're all going to be cheering you on June 17th. I have that right. Yes?
Yes. Wednesday, June 17th.
Maybe we can do a live broadcast of your movie on the Idea Members page or on another page. We can do a dance recital at the drive-in. I'll bring that up to you after you solve all your other problems, okay?
Yes, after I solve them, I'll
Thank you again, Nancy. Thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see you again with another live broadcast soon.
Okay,
take care.
Thank you so much. Bye.